All right, we're going to try to go on to the next reading. Welcome to the Scorpio full moon. It's rising right the fuck now. You know who this sign is before I do. We're going to go ahead and show you that there's 11 signs now to pick from. Next up, we've got none other than Virgo. Holy shit. Virgo, let's do it, y'all. We're going to do the Crystal Resonance Tarot for your overview, Aquarian Tarot for your Celtic Cross, and then we're going to do a final mensaje with the Crystal Resonance to wrap up. How are we feeling, Virgos? What a crazy transitionary time we've been in since the last time I spoke with you guys. I'm seeing purification. I think that's really like the Virgo thematics right now is like deep purification. I think right now, I mean, we see those kinds of thematics with like virtuous like figureheads around the world right now. Like there's like a death and rebirth for sure in the Virgo energy in general, the sort of sainthood energy and journey. So let's see what we got for you. Happy Scorpio full moon. I love you guys. Wow, Virgo. Holy shit. Virgo, this is cool. This reminds me, I was just about to talk about like nuns. Like I was really just thinking about like the, you know, the sort of righteousness path that you go on. But Virgo's dream is to walk a path of service. That's the truth. That's the truth. You can see it in any heavy Virgo placements anywhere. Like everything that a Virgo can dream about has something to do with this intrinsic need to be of service. Like Virgo, you have this identifier that like maybe under this moon, it's like finally purifying enough out of your life to realize like the best Virgos are the ones that are of use. I think this is also true. Like I think Virgos, because of the imbalances that the universe is like now ascending out of, I think there were a lot of Virgos that felt useless, and Virgo of all the earth signs, like you have such a big role to play. And there isn't anything about your energy that should be like passive in nature or, you know, doesn't have their own thing. I'm seeing a lot of energy. I think there's also a huge release of codependency for Virgo at this time, which is major. Because like I said, you guys really are such an independent, like sort of creator energy in and of yourself, and you're able to really account for just how much you do. And I just feel like you're going into this era where there's much more of this feminine principle leading, this sort of unseen principle leading to help you. I just feel like the Scorpio full moon is clearing and purifying things that are going to help you actually feel like you have the stability to build something long-term independently. Not by yourself, but independently. So let's see where the Scorpio full moon has our Virgo book. Thank you guys for being here for me and with me. Yeah. Okay, so Virgo, like immediately when I saw this, I had a huge personal like reflection that you wouldn't really understand. So I don't really have to like tell you what the synchronicity was because like it has to do with my life. But let's just say we've got this temperance sort of Sagittarian energy here at the bottom of the deck, talking about the Seven of Swords. I think when I opened this up, I was talking about this sort of righteous, like why would Virgos finally be feeling like they can be independent again, right? Like the sort of virgin Virgo archetype. Why would they feel like they can stand on their own? Because I think Virgo used to lie when it came to like spiritual truth. They used to like always say that there were always wiser people. I even feel like Virgos, because of the wounding that the sign has gone through, went through a cycle of partnering with things external to them that they don't actually feel are wiser than them, but the society that Virgos live in has deemed are like the wisdom keepers. And so I think like Virgos are coming out of this deep cycle where people thought you needed guidance, and you even let people guide you that I think you knew they don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't. And in fact, this is a part of some wound where I'm shrinking myself in terms of my spiritual prowess, in terms of like how clear cut I really am with the shit, right? I think you were letting other things sort of take care of that aspect when you are, in fact, like I said, I opened this up feeling like you're the leader that's called to do that, Virgo. You're actually the one who's meant to be listening to your own guidance. And I feel like as long as Virgos didn't feel like they had the right to take up space in the spiritual knowledge that they have, like the knowledge, like you know what I mean? Because it has to do with like activating you into a path of service. Think about the namesake of the channel. My moniker is Virgo Saint North Node, right? Because my North Node was calling me to stop letting other people do be the temperance in my life when actually I am divine temperance. When I alchemize my own internal waters to derive deep wisdom, to not deceive myself, to stand in my authenticity. And as long as I was lying to myself, stealing from myself by outsourcing that or letting someone else be that in my experience, it's always going to feel like, oh, I need this. It's temperance, right? But when you're tempering, this is mixing with something that's not true. I feel that for Virgos. The Scorpio full moon is like stopping you from mixing from things that are not true for you. Because it came from a wound of feeling like you had to, because you weren't allowed to just be as big brained as you are. Someone told you like someone needs to be smarter than you. There was some wound that like you couldn't take care of yourself. And I don't even think that was ever true. I think you were just forced to live that out. So I think the codependency stopping for Virgos right now is going to really reverberate in the collective. Death and crucifixion. I also feel like, okay, I'm not going to hold you, Virgo. This really gives like a part, like things you partner your energy with. This doesn't even just have to be people, but like things, institutions, jobs. Like there's a whole way that your lifestyle was like tethered and partnered to things that I think the Scorpio full moon, I'm going to tell you right now, I know I'm giving love and sensitivity because I believe that the Scorpio full moon let those things kill you. Like you went on for so long lying to yourself about this energy outside of you being the beacon of wisdom, having more wisdom than you had, which can never be the truth. You're just seeing reflected mirrors of where you're at, right? So if you think that your husband, your spouse, your kids, your preacher, your fucking job, whoever your boss, if you think they're so much bigger and so they're the ones who create the security and I'm the one who just like needs it, you know? I think you limit yourself from actually developing out your dreams and walking your own path of service when it's always, I'm an employee, those people are entrepreneurs, or I'm the person who listens in the pew. I'm not the one who gives the word. I think all Virgo placements right now had a crucifixion at the hands of the thing they knew. They knew. Like, this is where, like, I lied to myself. And you know when they say, like, lying to yourself will never solve anything? Just kind of like they say, like, I don't know, hitting somebody or violence will just be violence. It doesn't necessarily resolve anything. I feel like Virgo's learning in a very sobering way. When I lied about how much I liked this person and dated them for 5 years, now Virgo, under the Scorpio eclipse, you're getting like the crucifixion. Like I try to tell you guys, don't just fill space with shit because baby, I don't think you're ready to die for that shit. And then this is like having to die for the partner that you weren't even telling the truth, you lied, you didn't even like. So it's gonna just really make you remembering your cells after this experience is over, after the Reaper comes. Because they crucified you. Like, I'm telling you, bro, like, it's so funny. I have a picture, actually, this picture that was taken. This was taken by one of a good friend I had, like, my freshman year of college. And she was a photographer. And, you know, she had she had a stroke. And so it's really funny that it's not funny that she had a stroke, but it's ironic that she had a stroke. And from her stroke, she ended up incurring several, like, mutations on her current disabilities. And my father had a stroke, so I actually specifically helped him like recover from what his stroke did in terms of like long-term disabilities within his vessel, right? And so when I met this friend my freshman year of college, we really clicked because like, you know, she, you know, it always kind of expressed that like, you know, her experience is much more curated because you have to have people who have the empathy and the compassion and understanding to understand like her physical life is going to be different than maybe like somebody else who's differently bodied, whose body's abilities are different than hers. And so it was like, we became really best friends because of the fact that like, yeah, like, we just had there were no barriers for me. Like even whatever she has, like, oh, that's normal to me, bro. Like my whole parent, like I know stroke symptoms. Like I know what that is. Anyway, so that friend took this photo that's at my brother's house. It's just like a portrait of me, right? She's like a whole series of it. And I always laugh when I come over here because that friend ended up later on, right? This is a friend that I remember, like she was always just like, yeah, I don't always like, it's always like not easy for me to make friends, like I said, because there's just like a specific experience where I don't want to sacrifice like people really accounting and accepting me for who I am fully. And, you know, not just seeing me for where I am or not seeing me as a limitation to their life. And I was like, totally get it. And that person ended up like calling me a social climber to the streets. And I remember feeling like, damn, you be so kind, understanding, and open-hearted. You know what I mean? You be giving somebody something that like, you know, they know that like, oh yeah, like you're a unique type of person because not everybody treats me with as much equality as you do. And when she started getting my friendship and I, like, you know, started building her shit up and then she started having other friends outside of me just because like, oh, Alexis Taylor fucks with you? Bro, that's crazy. Like, we love her. Like, okay. And so people started really fucking with her just because, like, again, like, you know, ignorant college kids, like, everybody's doing their own thing. So, like, a lot of people would use me to, like, get more people to pay attention to them. Then she gonna have the right to start getting more friends and then going around with the friends I facilitated her to now have. Talking about, oh, Alexis Taylor's a social climber. Whatever, I was a fucking social climber or fucking not. The feeling that I had, Virgo, that I'm trying to tell you about is like the feeling of knowing like, damn, this be the person that I was lying on, like not even lying on myself, but like I was, you sometimes when you learn the lesson of like giving to things that just really aren't even aligned to you, or if you're giving someone something or flowers that can just go to you because you've always felt like you were just trained to do that, like to give to other people, the way that it can kind of burn you in the end, she just kind of crucified me and tried to talk shit about me, out in the streets. And I just ended up feeling like that wasn't worth it. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like that frequency, Virgo, where it's like funny that I look at that picture and it's just funny because it was taken by this person who like ended up like really like flipping the switch on me. And I just remember thinking like I was a fucking decent person because I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about what's wrong with you, what you can and can't do. Like, I'm your bro. And so it'd be like that. I think you were going through this cycle where you were being open-hearted, but also reinforcing some negative truths about yourself, which are like, I'm a supporter role. I'm not someone who can say, which is not the truth. And so I believe something that you were doing that too crucified you. Like they got so bold and they put you on the cross. And it was humbling because it made you be like, damn, I've been sitting up here lying to you this whole time and you end up crucifying me. And that is how karma would do it, Virgo. It is. So now spirit, you're having to rely on spirit to move you forward, right? And I think this has to do with a sense of faith, right? The victory. Because that's all spirit wanted it to be, Virgo. The true reality is spirit wanted to activate you onto your path of service. Spirit was like, no, Virgo, it's time for you to have dreams. 11-11. The whole reason I had that person crucify you, put you, someone that you, again, knew already, like I'm lying to myself because I'm not even telling them like how adept I am to understand what's going on. They think I'm a dumbass bitch. They think I'm like a basket case and I'm actually fully equipped. It's just the way that I'm putting them in that role in my life because of a wounding that I'm letting go of. And all the same, they crucify me so that I can have the Kundalini awakening to realize spirit is like, I want you to be successful. I get to know you're now surrendering to me to like help you bring in your personal success. Right, Virgo? Right, because in the recent past, like I said, you're looking at how you were building this with this person. I believe that you were trying to build partnerships and make these things come to life, but I just think this has to do with what role you were playing and why during the building process, like it was always omitting and shrinking and not being able to take up space and being codependent on their plan conceptualizing abilities when you're the fucking earth sign here. You know what I mean? Maybe you know how to do this shit. You're getting enlightened, bro. This whole crucifixion was to enlighten you, Virgo, that you actually have a body of knowledge that you are meant to create your dream life with and be of service with. Virgo's realizing what proper this brought you into union. I think Virgo is coming out of a huge learning cycle about how to really be. I mean, I'm there. I'm in union right now, bro. You've seen me at all types of places on this channel. You can go back and see me on all types of places on the channel. But right now, union. And when I'm in union, it's because I was enlightened that the things that when I lie to myself, it actually just brought on endedness. That's all the spirit's telling you. It's like, Virgo, lying to yourself is never an option. Virgo, you are all things virtuous. If our most virtuous in the zodiac wheel, if the thing that represents honesty, like the original, not telling the truth, but like honesty, that's what Virgo is. Virgo is honest, okay? You know what I mean? How good are the crops that the farmer grows? Like Virgo, the Virgo analysis of that is honest. And so when we're giving honest reviews, when our honesty is like being deceptive, we're stuck, Again, everybody's coming out of their worst forms of abuse because for Virgo to have to lie, I'm telling you, Virgo, I'm seeing a lot of Virgos in the ether, a lot of Virgo placements that we're having to like lie, and whether this Scorpio moon, it didn't feel comfortable. It's not supposed to. The discomfort that this Scorpio full moon brought you is so you can stop lying about things that you really could and would rather just be telling the truth about. Spirit does not want you lying to yourself anymore. Spirit does not want you to keep doing this. It's not sustainable. You cannot just lie until you die. You cannot just stay married to this person you don't feel no type of way about until you die. You cannot just keep working here if it's never worked or something. It's like you can't. This is what Spirit was pushing, this transformation, so that there is no more just lying with Virgo. Oh my God, Virgo. Because I feel like in the near future, you're about to come into your star archetype because you let a Five of Swords that needed to happen because you integrated your shadow. You remembered, I'm Virgo. I'm a fucking human of the cloth. I'm initiated into the brotherhood, into the siblinghood. I'm initiated into the fucking spiritual truth. And that makes me a star. And actually, when I come back into that Virgo aggressive discernment, which is like, skirt, that's not good enough. When I really start telling the truth, like even if the fucking review, even if the Google review is shit, even if the Yelp review is shit, it's got to be said. And when you actually let yourself write the bad review, when you actually say, like, not only was their pussy not good, it was fucking stanky, I got fucking sick, or what? Not only was that food disgusting, but when you finally give yourself the right to not have to keep lying, this is like somebody, Virgo, I feel like the analogy for your fucking Scorpio full moon is, this is nothing but a good thing, Virgo, because I think Virgo's had a big cataclysmic experience that felt like being at someone's house, being there for dinner, and the dinner they cook you is disgusting. And what it's like when you guys built up all these expectations, like, oh, yo, we're about to eat, and someone like really said their shit was about to be good, and that shit was disgusting. And I feel like Virgo was like worried, like, do I have the right to say that was disgusting? And not only is the Scorpio moon gonna push you so much to be like, say that shit was nasty, bro. Say it with your chest. You really won't have any other option. I see this as, it's star energy, meaning that it doesn't matter. If, in fact, no one else should be up there with you. Your truth, this is, matter of fact, all Virgos right now, all Virgo placements, that fucking truth, that no longer lying and just saying it is actually what's about to propel you into your star energy. Because you said this shit is stanky, nasty, I don't even need more proof. The proof is that I'm fucking sipping, I'm sensing it, seeing it, smelling it, tasting it. It's disgusting. I hate the energy. If that is really what that fucking partnership felt like, if that's what that bondage felt like, if that's what that life cycle felt like, if that's what the bitches you roll with feel like, Virgo, I'm seeing you into this. It's a concise ass message. You're like, then let it be known. Let it be known. Because this is some, again, I didn't fucking come this far through all this shit just to fucking lie on me again, right? I feel like with Virgos, if we started lying, we're not going to end lying. Like, lying is already painful enough for a Virgo, right? Because you're thinking it's showing like love, you know, because you're a Virgo, so you know everybody's like, God, the critique, God, calm down, let us be human. So you're trying to like not be like meta-human, like you're not trying to be that person. But God, dog, this is where Spirit was like, baby, lying doesn't help anybody. It doesn't even do anything. It won't change fucking anything. So you should just tell the truth. And now that Virgo has taken a taste of the darkness and the shadow of Scorpio, that's like I love Scorpionic atmospheres because you know what Scorpio says? It's a dark ass time. Let's just make the backdrop like the worst of the worst. So let's just bring it to the underworld. So that just like makes everything feel safe because nothing is that bad in comparison to the fact that like everybody's going through shadow. So when you get to feel seen and human, Virgo, like this is like your humanity is allowed to live. You don't even got to fucking tell another lie for the rest of your life. In fact, the Scorpio full moon is ready to pay out proper. The Virgos that are like, bruh, I'm going to take my new beginning and let y'all know who the fucking dirty demons are. Because Virgos know. I'm telling you, you were keeping quiet. Virgos were holding the tea. They know who's deception. They know who actually looks like this under their fucking flesh. Virgos know. Because Virgos always get drafted into the fucking militia like that. And I feel like there was a death process that took place that ripped this off. And I feel like, Virgo, you're the megaphone that's supposed to let us know who's hiding, who's not telling the truth. Under this Scorpio full moon, who the fuck is not actually who they say they are? And it's not even just about not being who you say you are. It's like one thing you be like, oh, I'm a chef and you're really a line cook. No, that's not this type of tea. This is the type of niggas who be like, I'm a great person, I love you, and they actually hate you. They're conspiring against you. They are actually plotting on you. So Virgo has been given from the hand of God to creative direct how they're going to out this energy. Because it's your right. After fucking having to be dependent on demons, because I feel like Virgos had to be dependent on demons for so long in their last cycle, now you're free. Now, in the end, karmically, every lie you had to stomach for these people that tore you from who you are as a Virgo, your truth, when you when you fucking stab that snake in the head, Virgo, the star in you, when you're no longer lying for people who are dead ass, bum Russian ass, dirty ass bitches under their fucking mask, under their meat suit, when you don't have to keep their fucking teeth, when you let their baggage go and don't give a fuck, kill me, bitch. I'll never fucking lie. I'll tell people who you are. That brings you right into the pole, bro. We were just laughing this morning like the Pope is from Texas. Bitch, I'm the new Pope. What the fuck? That's Virgo. The truth that we have fucking like actually propagating right now is that Virgo is really actually telling the fucking honest spiritual truth. Virgo has the lens of like, no, these niggas are dark. Like these niggas that you think that they're not nice. They're not good guys. And I just feel like Virgo's been so scared because like I said, I think you thought your role was just to protect darkness. Like I think Virgo stays somewhere for way too long giving their light to darkness because they think that's what their role is. No, that's what the darkness tells you. So they can just siphon your energy. But your real role is to actually be like a discerner. To be like separator. To be like nerd. You get what I'm saying? Not to like sit there and you be attached and sacrifice yourself. This self-sacrificing paradigm is over. Over for Virgo. Right? You're discerning now. You're not just keeping the bitches in the... Like this... You are, if all of these bitches are demons for real, if every single bitch at the party is actually a demon, Virgo's about to spill it. I mean, I know y'all don't know this, but I got some fucking receipts to show y'all. And Virgo did that shit. You saw me doing it, bro. You saw how I was like, I don't even give a fuck anymore. These bitches got me living on my car. I'm about to tell the truth about who they are. I'm about to just spill the receipts. Cause the fuck, like, you get what I'm saying? You were crucified, bro. Like, I was sitting there, like, on the cross bleeding out. If I didn't read some enlightenment about it, it would have just been a sacrifice on me. Y'all saw them do that to me, bro. I'm good now. Because, yeah, Virgo, I had to fucking Virgo St. North know the shit. I had to tell the fucking truth. When the guys wanted me to think that I was condemned to the codependency, I wasn't. So, Virgo, let's end this because your dream life, you're actually leading on this. People want to call you a snitch. That's what they want to call a Virgo. They always want to be like, Virgos be snitching. And do. And do. Because baby, Virgos don't hang around. Virgos, y'all be hanging out with the sprites and the fairies. Virgos be hanging out with the demons and the dark lords because of their purity. So yeah, when that's the crew you've been in the past cycle, you had to always be around. And it's not just the demons and the dark lord that are out. It's the covert demons and the dark lords that be hidden under like thin ass masks that like seems like no one can discern. Your final message is your life force is returning because of your self-discipline. Again, Virgo. A lying Virgo is not you being self-disciplined. It's not. It's going to be a hate crime to you. It's going to be the worst thing in the world to you. Having to lie for something because you think you need it, because you think it's helping, you think it's loving. That's also lies. The only thing you can do is tell the truth because the truth is already out there. People already feel the energy of the people you think you're protecting that are demonic. Yeah, the people already know the energy of those people. They can already feel them themselves. They can also discern for themselves. You have no idea what people's spiritual truth is. But Virgo, you've got two new beginnings. Like, look at this. Virgo, I know it seems sticky. Like, how could this be my new beginning from God? It's your new beginning from God. You can go back like 4 videos ago and look at what I was doing, where I was, bro. I've had a crazy 2 weeks. Taurus has been crazy for me. But the whole point was like, I couldn't not believe that this, just because my fucking new beginning started with me be going into my fucking dark night and cutting some shit off, did not mean that it was not exactly this for me. That it was not exactly that. And I think your outcome, Virgo, that I'm going to finish with is like, because that your life force has been restored, you're about to be able to be surprised. Like, you discerning makes room for the company that actually vibrates at the truth frequency that you embody. So congratulations on this Scorpio full moon eclipse. If I could wrap up what's happening here is that crucifixion happened because the thing that crucified you, like the thing that you died, that like tried to humiliate you, that tried to fucking leave you for dead, it was something that you once lied for. It was some 23. It was something that once you knew how bad they were and you used to just lie for them. So the hardship, the pain of Scorpio, let it come undone. Let it come out because you're not lying for it anymore. Finally, the world sees this person or this thing that has been crucifying you for what it is too. That's what Scorpio brought to the surface into balance. Virgo, if you were like in a relationship with someone that was insane, bro, well, now the world is starting to also match up. Like that person, the karma is now starting, it can't be fudged. People don't fuck with it the long way. So now you have this freedom to finally, because I feel like Virgo's about to cut some shit off. Cut off a group. Cut off a whole old association altogether. Yeah. Because you knew the quality and the nature, like I said, of these things that you were keeping yourself around. And in fact, it was a codependency cycle for Virgo that was triggering them through the fact that they are our collective honesty. And so Virgos were living deceptively. Now that Virgos don't have to live deceptively, they can just tell the truth. The first thing that I feel like this Scorpio moon is doing for Virgos, you're going to see Virgo placements everywhere, snipping somebody off. A whole collective, a 3 of Cups. That's what you're seeing. And I think it's not expected because when do we ever empower Virgos? When do we ever think of Virgos as main characters? Exactly. So Virgos now are like, no, I am main character and I'm going to come into my star energy by this cutoff. In fact, I will use this because it's my time. Like, it's like what I did. I was like, that's fine. I'm about to cut off my fucking parental. That's fine. Because we're going to do it either way. Because it's going to bring me into my star energy either way.